Hello and welcome to Chinny Vision 2. I'm going to be talking about some things for the next however long, so if you want to see something more interesting, go and watch something else instead. Because, well, I recorded this video about 3 days ago because I'd seen something that I thought, well, concerning and quite interesting as well. And then something else happened and Gigerpunk recorded a video about that without mentioning anything, but go and look at that video if you can, because it's really good. An update from him and what he's currently got in his collection and wander around his games room. Anyway, I saw this post from Trade and Play Wirral on the 15th of September. They're a shop in Birkenhead. A very good one. A number of people have told me they're really good. And this post on Sinister Facebook says, just a gentle reminder, if you want to film in store or collaborate on a project, you need to contact the business directly before you have any intention of coming in. You can do this by messaging us on Facebook. Remember, this is private property and you can be asked to leave. I appreciate that more recent followers will more than likely have not seen our last post on the subject. Threatening to punch the store manager because he had to ask you twice to stop filming probably isn't going to garner you the desired result. Wow. Now we have their word for it. There's going to be two sides to every story. And it's an allegation that the YouTuber threatened to punch the store manager. But this is out there in the public space. So you can take it as you will. As I say, there could be two sides to every story. Now, this concerns a YouTuber who goes round, and please don't start guessing in the comments because I will just jump on it and delete it. I want to try and keep this kind of, I don't want to give them the oxygen. This YouTuber goes round to shops recording, presumably without permission, and trying to find retro bargains, and then records YouTube videos. But worse than that, that YouTuber has decided to try and shame this shop on their channel. Which, you know, you go in there, you allegedly have not got permission to record, you're asked to leave. What do? You throw your toys out of the pram and then make an internet drama out of it. And this just about sums up the state of the UK retro scene. Rather than just kind of going, okay, I was in the wrong. No. Double down. Now, the thing is, this is kind of an area that I actually know something about for once. Recording in public spaces, in public, and a shop is a private space. I know you can go in there, but it is a private space. You can't just whip out your phone or camera and start recording. The shopkeeper, the security guard, whoever, is perfectly entitled to ask you to leave. Indeed, they could call the police if you're starting to cause a disturbance and threatening to punch people. It's just not on. You can't do that. I know you can record in certain public spaces, providing and not causing an obstruction. There's places like Canary Wharf. But yeah, you can't just go around. I've been in places recently where I've done some drone recording and I've had full permission to be there, somewhere quite down in the southwest, that you don't usually get permission to be there, but I had permission. I could go there and record, which was really good. And yeah, you ask permission, you get permission, and sometimes you get to do really cool things because you asked first. And if someone says no, that's fair enough, because it's not for you to kind of throw your toys out the pram. It's yes or no. If you want to come to my house and walk around my garden, I can say yes, I can say no. If I had a shop and you can come in and browse, but if you're being an annoying person, I can say, can you please leave? And if you don't leave, I can call the police because you're refusing to leave. It's actually a private space. many years ago. I was doing some work, market research work, and I researched it all because the client was an American drinks company, and they wanted video footage of UK supermarkets. So I worked it all out. I worked where I could shoot from the public, pavement, public right of way, not on. It was Tesco, actually. This one. So I was out on what and I checked it just to get a picture like Street View does from the road. It's fine. And it turns out I wasn't quite on the road, and the security guards came out and said, you can't record from there. I said, I'm terribly sorry. And, they were on me quite quickly, actually. They were watching. And, very, very sorry. Can you tell me where the Tesco property ends? Because I thought this bit here by the little roundabout. They said, no, actually, it's just beyond there, and then you're out on the public pavement. So I went back there and got the shots there, and they were fine with that. But I could not be on Tesco property to get that single shot of the supermarket. And that's life. That's life. You don't suddenly start kind of throwing your toys out the pram and what have you. You just go and you do it, and, you get on with it. And that's that, really. So, yeah. And then make a YouTube video fussing about this to try and create internet drama for your followers, and creating a pile-on in the comments of the video is absolutely disgusting. It's terrible. And there's some, actually, in the comments of that video, some people are saying things like, oh, those cases aren't authentic. They're obviously reproduction. He's ripping people off. That's actionable. You can't say that. How do you know that? You can't go round having people in your comments saying stuff that may well is almost certainly false and actionable, and just allowing this drama to fester and stir and create bad feeling against a business. It is wrong. It is wrong. And I started digging around on this channel because wrong uns always have more kind of wrong around them in general. And I thought I'd have a look at their stats, and wow. This is their monthly gained views for this channel. I've anonymised it. And, if you look at that dip in August, somehow managed to gain a total views of the month of minus 86,000. Minus 86,000. And something similar has happened a year and a half before, March 24, where they've got a few thousand views that month. So you can see these dips, and you know why this has happened. This isn't a YouTube error reporting thing. I know there was that thing years ago where YouTube went potty for a few days and just dropped all the subscribers and views, and everyone panicked. No, what this is a correction on the views, because when an account is deleted by YouTube, all those views also get deleted. And what I strongly suspect this is bots bought views being culled from the YouTube stats. So this channel has been buying views in order to boost itself up, and suddenly YouTube's gone, oh, we've got all these accounts that are bots, we're going to delete them. All those stats are suddenly deleted from the moment they're deleted, and you suddenly end up with a deficit of 86,000 views for your month. Now, if you're looking at the previous month where the channel's getting to 210,000, that means they must have bought something in the region of 250,000 views. 250,000 views. That is, the self-importance of these people and their followers and the drama, they need to buy views in order to appear popular. That's bananas. It's sick. It's not right. Just that many views is just in order to be some kind of celebrity in your own head on YouTube to boost yourself up, to make yourself look big. Because, of course, it's not just about YouTube. It's about TikTok and Instagram, all the other stuff these days, and getting revenue from all those different streams. And it may be a perfectly innocent explanation for this chart, but, you know, I suspect you've got the same conclusion I have about this. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. You know, they've also lost 100 subscribers in the last 30 days, because that would be accounts being culled as well who was subscribing. I cannot. You know, if you look at the Chinevision chart here, this is Chinevision's chart. You know, I've had bad months where I've not got any subscribers. July this year, not many subscribers, and so on. But it's a small channel. When you've got numbers, you go, oh, actually, probably Chine got 5 subscribers in July this year. And my views have obviously gone down since I stopped doing regular videos. But that's kind of what a chart looks like. August last year, August 23, didn't do any videos, didn't get any subscribers. That's kind of normal. I haven't suddenly got a deficit of 86,000 on the views or anything like that. It's a small channel, you know. I'm grateful anyone at all watches me kind of honk on about Amstrad games and stuff. Buying views would be what would be the point, especially as I don't have any adverts or anything like that. Would it feed my ego? Would I lose money to? I mean, you can clearly say I'm not, because look at the numbers. You know, this is not a channel that is buying views and subscribers. Although I did quite well in the beginning of 2023. I don't know what I did well then to get 100 in a month, but yeah, this is not a channel that's going to be influencing or buying or what have you. Because what would be the point? Which brings us on nicely to another YouTuber who suddenly sprung up on YouTube. And it's a new channel. It's only been going a few months, and it has, as of today, 45,000 subscribers. And has done 1,200 videos. And I've anonymised the channel logo, but I'm going to show the videos because you can see, for example, there's a video gone up 6 hours ago with 18 views. Project X there, 23 views, 33 views, 120 views a day ago, with on a base of 45,000 subscribers. So I need a drink. Cheers. Wine on a weeknight. It's been that kind of day. Wine in a plastic beaker. Classy. LG wine in a plastic beaker. We know how to live at Chinevision. So you look at these views. There's a video 3 days ago. 38 views on a channel base of subscribers of 45,300. I got 120 views on that Sega Master System Rambo review. That was a day ago. Let's take that as the base. Now, Chinevision, with its 9,000 subscribers, will generally do, let's say, 900 to 1,000 on the first day. So I'm kind of doing, perhaps more, if it's a big game, perhaps more. But let's say I'm doing 8 times the amount of views on the first day than the videos here. And that's being extremely generous when you're saying, look, there's one with 27 views there, one with 38 views, one with 38 views there, and a sub base of 45,000. It doesn't add up. What are those subscribers watch? You got these subscribers, why aren't they watching? It's always the giveaway. We know somebody else, a Spectrum person, a child genius coder, who buys his views and subs. And the stats never add up. And you can go down here and go, suddenly there's 1,300 views 4 days ago on Ace of Aces. Sorry, my microphone did its crackly thing there. I think there's something wrong with the valve in this. I certainly can't afford to get that sorted at the moment. Anyway, so you've got Ace of Aces there, 1,300 views 4 days ago. Respectable numbers, kind of numbers Chinevision does. But the videos around it, 154 on the left, 38 on the right. It doesn't add up. It does not add up. And if you look at some of the other views on the channel, you go, well, yeah, some of these videos have done better, but it doesn't make any sense. So you go to Social Blade to have a look at the channel. It's adding 400 subscribers a day, constantly. And I know Social Blade rounds up. You've got 400, 400, 400, 400, 500, 600, 400, 400 every day. And if you look at the channel growth stats, so we look at the graph for the gain subscribers and the monthly gain of views. August is doing nothing, 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 nothing. And then the views start to go up. He's publishing videos, so fair play. But, I mean, again, that's growing up to, you know, a reasonable figure there. But the subscribers, look at it. 0, 0, 0, 0, bam. Straight line up. So we're going from the start of September having virtually nothing to up with, it hasn't fully gone up there, but we could see the other graph that it's up to 45,000. Which is just, it's not happening, is it? None of it's real. It's all purchased. Somebody wants to be an influencer. Somebody is paying money to make themselves look like a big shot. But how much money? Well, I went round some click purchase sites that give you subscribers and views. And I won't publish the names of the services. One of them wanted me to give my login details and share permissions for my YouTube channel in order to give me a quote. Nice try. Really nice try, but that was never going to happen, was it? But I think we know how another YouTuber managed to lose access to his account fairly recently when he managed to get locked out. And oh no, poor him, he just made a mistake. Yeah. Never, ever give anyone, certainly not one of these dodgy services based in Russia or somewhere unfriendly, access to your account or permissions to your account. We've seen it happen not just once, we've seen it happen a few times. The Child Genius Spectrum Coder is another one who managed to get his account hacked. Yeah, hackers did it. It's not hacking if you give them your permissions and details and login. That's just stupidity. Anyway, so we're looking at sub numbers here on this service, and these numbers here seem to be about right. I looked at 3 services, I think. 1,000 subs, $53. If you want to go up to bigger numbers, 5,000 subs, $269. 10,000 subs, $539, which would add up. And that number seems about fairly common. They're real and organic subscribers. High quality. Instant start. Yeah, they're probably doing that. Refill guaranteed. For how long? No drops. How are you going to get your money back? Are you going to go to blooming Moscow and stand outside the Click Farm warehouse and get your money back? Yeah, it's not happening, is it? All these guarantees. Privacy and safety. Oh. Yeah, well, I suppose if you don't give them your login, you're just giving them your credit card. That might be okay. Especially if it's a proper credit card as opposed to a debit card, because you've got more protections. I think if you are buying 40,000 subscribers, which is, it looks like this guy has, you're going to be paying around £1,000. Yeah, I left that silence there quite deliberately. 40,000 subscribers is going to cost you around £1,000. Does his missus know that he's spunked £1,000 on YouTuber fake subscriptions? Did I? Really? I can't answer that. But it's a complete fallacy. all this stuff, why, what does this gain you? I don't get it. You want to be a famous YouTuber, you're not going to do it playing rubbish old 8-bit games. I do this because, sporadically, I like the hardware and the software, and I have memories and I want to share it with people. And these people who sit in front of shelves of games that they never play, and or sit in front of shelves of thousands of pounds of games and then beg for a few £100 to pay off a photographer, for example. And it just baffles me. I get people want to do YouTube and have fun and do stuff, but I don't get spending £1,000 on sending it to some warehouse in Russia, India, Pakistan, somewhere like that. Because all these click farms, all these bot farms are off in some kind of place, and quite often it can be people. We've seen the pictures of the people with the racks of phones, and they're having to click on all the different things. That's for kind of things like retention, I would imagine, where you've got to have some kind of genuine interaction. But you're potentially paying in a lot of money into despotic regimes to people you don't know. I mean, okay, we're all guilty of going to a shop and buying a cheap shirt and going, we don't know that's made in some sweatshop in Thailand. But this just seems like a rather blatant way of just funneling your money to some despotic, awful place in the world where you probably shouldn't be sending a load of money. I don't know. I really don't know. And to be desperate enough to want to do that. Okay, you might say, well, Chinnyvision. What's Chinnyvision? Some rubbish channel that, well, yeah, it's never run adverts. So, Chinnyvision's monetised, it just doesn't run adverts. Because you need to be monetised in order to turn the adverts off. Something Gigerpunk was saying in his video was, some of the adverts are really annoying and he runs a thing to strip them out on other videos he watches. And I don't run adverts, apart from on Chinnyvision 2, where the non-retro videos have adverts on them. And frankly, I've never even made enough money on that to withdraw the amount of about $40 or something in there in the kind of 2 years that channel's actually been monetised. It's, it's not. Oh, buy Chinnyvision pens. You can buy Chinnyvision pens. I mean, you can buy... I've got loads of these. Buy them. Chinnyvision.com. Please, someone do. I've got all my boxes down there. Look how shiny they are. Look how shiny Chinnyvision pens are. You want a couple of these. You really do. That's how Chinnyvision makes its money, although we don't actually make much. Me. I don't have a load of people working on this channel writing scripts for me. Scripts. Can you imagine scripts? I've just said about 3,000 times in this video as I spontaneously speak my brains. Yes. Anyway, that's a joking aside. People sitting in front of shelves of stuff they don't use, and it's just props, and they don't care, and they don't play the stuff. I mean, why do I do Chinnyvision? Because I want to share stuff like this. Actually, no, I'm going to get something else in first. Here is a copy of a terrible computer game, The Apprentice. Well, I recommend you do stick this on a shelf and don't play it because it's awful. Right? But it's the first budget game I ever owned. And it took me weeks to get it to load on my 6128 with external tape recorder because, unknown to me, it's not a good idea to have an external tape recorder for your computer that also has a tone control. And I had no idea how to adjust the tape recorder to get it to load. And yeah, I can share stories like this, and it's not stuff that's come to me later. It's my slightly battered copy of The Apprentice with the slightly manky inlay where I probably spent a lot of time reading all this about this amazing game that looked like sorcery, but was terrible. It's got a new case, so it looks shiny on my shelf, so I can feel pleased with myself. But so I've got it on my shelf, but it's a terrible computer game. But I do Chinny Vision so I can share memories like that, or I can discover new good games or terrible games, or games by the same coder. Who says this game's? I think this game James Higgins wrote this. I can't remember who else, what other games he wrote, but it's about sharing and having a laugh with like-minded people who've got computers and stuff, and not just going, for example, oh, here is the GX4000, the worst game console of all time. Oh, yes, it is. Here's the games on emulation. Blah, 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 blah. GX4000, it was terrible. Blah, blah, blah. It's a GX4000. This kind of makes me happy handling it. I mean, it's my fifth GX4000, because obviously you've heard the stories before. But it is a GX4000, one that came out at that Spanish hall. And I look at it and it makes me happy. Can I just talk about the nice things about the GX4000? Because it's so easy to have some lazy rubbish that people talk about, you know, the shortcomings and blah, blah, blah. It's a nice console. It looks like a spaceship. It's actually quite small. I mean, look at a NES. Where's the style in a NES? It's a box. The last System 1 looks quite nice. It's very long and very empty. This feels like a nice solid thing, and it's Amstrad, but it's got to meet the 1992 regulations. So suddenly all your connectors are metal, apart from the light gun, but your joystick connectors are metal there. And you go around the back and everything's shielded. You've got this stupid idea that, you know, I'm not taking that out there, but that's two power inputs. That's the 5 volt, that's the 11 volt. I run mine on the monitor and the 5 volt because, yeah, just don't. Because as soon as you put 11 volts or 12 volts up there, bye-bye RAM. But it makes me happy. It's got a SCART connector on the back. Only my Hitbit 75B had a SCART connector on the back. And that didn't work properly because they all tint blue, don't they? Because the way they bonched it. It's got rain on it because it was raining when I came in. But it's such a lovely thing. And it's locks the cartridge in. Two-tone design. I just like it, and it makes me feel happy. And Christmas 1990, and it has some good games. It has the best version of Pang, and it would have been lovely if it had been a success, and it'd be lovely if there were more games. But every time I get it out, and I was playing this about a week ago, playing Switchblade and Burning Rubber, and I was playing on a projector. I had a projector out. Might be a video about that, might not, I don't know. But I had it just for a laugh. I had this projector that has been left at my house. I thought, I'm going to put the GX4000 on that and play that this evening. And the delay on the projector was awful. But it was a GX4000 on a huge screen. It's like, yeah, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't I play that? Because it's a GX4000 and it makes me happy to have that on a big screen. And that's the joy of this hobby. If this didn't make me happy, I wouldn't do this channel. Just seeing this and holding it and just the enthusiasm for it. And then seeing some lazy stuff about, oh, this is, you know, blah, blah, blah. This makes me happy. Certain computers make me happy. Owning them, using them. And I'm going to do some videos, I think, about just talking about machines. Because there's stuff I've got. There's a few things that Carlos, sorry, coughing, kindly sent me that Auric that I reviewed last year. And it's an interesting machine, lovely machine, interesting machine to own and have. And I'm very grateful he sent it. It doesn't really make me happy in the way a GX4000 does. I mean, look at it. They've almost really thought this through, and it just kind of feels nice. It just makes me, it's an object. It's nice, and it's got the kind of little felt things on the bottom to stop it sliding around. It's got its serial number there. So it's probably number 66,158. And I don't know which revision it is, because loads of revisions of GX4000s, if you didn't know. Even though, you know, it wasn't sold for very long, Amstrad were constantly tinkering with the production process for whatever reason, availability of components, I don't know. Someone should ask Cliff Lawson to say exactly why they're like 5 or 6 revisions of GX4000s. But apparently, well, France, obviously there's the French revision because it has a different version. It doesn't have, the French version doesn't have the modulator. So there's that version, because obviously why include a modulator at the cost of 50p when you can just take it out of the French, for the French version, because they can't use it because they got CCAM. But you see, I've retained all this knowledge, and it makes me happy that I've retained this knowledge. And if you will have devices and computers and games and consoles that make you owning this still makes me happy. I don't have, actually I've still got my budget games, I don't have all my full price games anymore, but actually having that on the shelf makes me happy, and telling you about it, even though it's a demonstrably terrible computer game, I like to tell you about it and honk on about it and talk on this video about it, and sharing on a channel like Cinevision is really, really important, discovering together. A friend telling me that he used to really enjoy Friday the 13th on his friend's C64. And I thought, well, I'm pretty sure that's a terrible game. I'll go and play that. And boy, it's a terrible game. But, it might have been a good game. And the nature of these old computer games, a lot of them are going to be rubbish, and I can get cross about it. And I can get cross about ones I bought. I can get cross about The Apprentice because it looks like Sorcery, or Sorcery Plus, which is a fantastic Amstrad CPC game. Sorcery Plus on disc. And you think, oh, it's going to be similar to that. And it's not. It's terrible, and it does lots of things. It resets the baddies every time you go off the screen, where Sorcery Plus remembers, and you can kind of just go, just loads of things. And you think that was, well, it's not the worst budget game ever, but, but it's, holding a +2, a machine I looked at in CMVG on the double page spread, owning those now, makes me happy. Having a 6128, there are certain machines that kind of you relate to and you want to share, and the knowledge and you've kind of built up, you want to share with like-minded people. And watching Gigerpunk walk around his kind of lair, his I hate the term man cave, his computer room, talking about stuff, and actually what was most interesting in that wasn't the kind of consoles and things and stuff he's acquired, it's his box of pirated discs he acquired when he was at school. That's the really interesting stuff for me. It's why the Cinevision podcast talks to people about their memories. I must do some new episodes soon, I know. Time, effort, blah, 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 sitting here doing this when I could be doing something else. Sharing that shared experience, and it not being about trying to, am I called Cinevision? Right? I have a brand. There is the brand, Cinevision, right? What does it mean? It means nothing really. I don't want to be on some retro panel. There's no big TikTok. What's it they will do? Twitch. It's I did a bit of live streaming on YouTube over COVID because I was bored. I didn't really enjoy it, but it was nice to get people together, and sometimes I might do some again soon and just get people together, have a chat. But it's a very pressured way of doing things. You can't play the games properly. You're either playing the game, we're talking to people, we've got to have someone looking after the chat, and I don't want that. It's got to be me and you, and that's it. And just enjoying this stuff, because it's still around. This still works. It hasn't blown up. This one, touch wood, touch laminated plastic wood. This one hasn't blown up yet. And I hope it doesn't blow up. And it makes me really happy having a GX4000 and getting it out and going, this is my GX4000, because it usually lives in its box, because it's kind of nicely pristine, and I've got a 464 Plus for general use. But every time I get this out, it's I just really like it and think Amstrad did a nice job. And what if this had come out? Because there's something we've found out more recently as well, is Amstrad were tendering for, or getting tenders in for cartridge production for these in 1988. So were they looking to put this out Christmas 88 or Christmas 89? Possibly Christmas 89. But the whole PC 2000 fiasco overtook them, and then they put this out for Christmas 1990 instead. There's an interesting thought. Would it have done better if it had come out a year before? Who knows? Would it have more game support? Although the price part of the problem was Amstrad made the manufacturers pay up front for the cartridges and the manufacturing, and it was expensive. So this is why some of the games like Chase HQ2 have turned up and have been extremely rare, because it seems like they were test runs or something, not a full production run. That and then they went into some kind of store at Amstrad, and then Amstrad sold that all to Wave. You see the Wave adverts in Amstrad Action, and they just sold off their store of CPC stuff at some point, say 92, and suddenly you get Chase HQ2 turning up in the adverts, which everyone thought was wrong, but turned out to make a lot of money for the people who went, I just try it. I should have gone to Wave and paid, I'll pay £10 for a copy of Chase HQ2. What's the worst that's going to happen? And then I'll suddenly be sitting on a grand cartridge. And I tell you what, if it was me, I'd be sharing it with you all. I wouldn't be sitting on it. Whoever's got that, and it's got to be someone known to the scene. Has to be. Absolutely has to be. Someone with a lot of money bought that cartridge and then not prepared to have that dumped. And that's their right. As someone who had his cartridges dumped, the first batch of GX4000, as I've said many times, first batch of GX4000's cartridges being dumped back in the 90s, there was a plea put out on the CPC Usenet forum, and I sent some of my cartridges off to some person, can't remember who dumped them and glued the cartridges, because that's the thing, it's destructive. You break open the cartridge, the tabs go, and you've got to glue them back together. Well, you wouldn't know my cartridges have been glued back together, although in landfill now, but we don't go into that. But yeah, of course it's got to be preserved, but whatever. Sharing, it's what this hobby is about. Don't hoard stuff. Film is fabulous. If you to go on a tangent briefly, there's been this Film is Fabulous thing. They've become a charity. They preserve people's film collections, and they're saying there's some Doctor Who stuff that's hopefully going to be recovered soon of 1960s episodes thought lost that these film collectors have had. And the reason that Film is Fabulous are doing these recoveries and become a charity is because they are recovering films from people literally on their last legs. Or in this one person case, he died in hospital, intestate, no will, no relatives by all accounts, with a massive collection of rare films that he'd been hoarding. There's no other word for it. And he's Film is Fabulous. He's been speaking to Film is Fabulous when he was ill, and they have hopefully got the rights to go in and preserve that collection. They're speaking to other film collectors about this. And all this stuff we've got, and we're all in our late 40s now, 50s as well. Saw someone's happy birthday. The person I saw on Blue Sky the other day had a birthday. Oh, it's Mr. H, wasn't it? I think it was. But we're getting to age in 20, 25 years, and even sooner than that, where some of us are going to be falling off our perches with these massive collections of stuff. And what then? All off to landfill? I've talked about this before. The value of the stuff's going to drop and go through the floor. Hence why I don't save to kind of hoard stuff or for the value. What's the way? I hoard stuff because I enjoy it, because I want to have a GX4000. And I told myself for a long time I was never going to have another one because I'd blown so many of them up. And yet here we are, and it makes me happy to have one. This one blew up. I'll be very unhappy again. I'll be very unhappy because I'm like some terrible drug addict who gets an endorphin release from handling a GX4000. Listen to the state of me. It's appalling. But it does. It makes me happy to have this. Just it's on so many levels. It makes me happy to have this GX4000, and it makes me happy to have lots of other machines. Some of the other machines worry me. Like Arkham Medes, which I wanted for so long and tried so hard to get, and channel funds back when Vision had a Patreon enabled me to buy an Archimedes for the channel I don't use enough. But that thing worries me because it's so fragile. It's fine, But the podule moves. It's slightly when you move it, and then you have to take the case off and wiggle the podule. And if you use deoxit on the contacts, it's fine. And you come back 6 months later, move it again, and the contacts on the podule have oxidized again, and the blooming thing won't boot open. It just stresses me out. I think because it's not like an Amiga. It feels slightly flimsy, and it's not like it's like machines that don't make me happy. Atari ST. I've got 2 of them. They don't. I slightly flash back to my mate's bedroom playing Carrier Command with it, or playing Formula 1 Grand Prix first time round. In my other mate who got us an Amiga at his house. But I really don't get any kind of... I have one for Gigerpunk. It's an ST. C64, and I feel differently about that. I don't feel the same way I do about CPCs. 464, first computer I ever used. Yeah. Wow. You know, that was life-changing. My 6128, it's that was not literally my first computer, but a 6128 is still kind of the computer that sat on my dining room table at home, or our dining room table that I sat at for hours playing these games, trying to load The Apprentice from tape. And then we got a computer desk with a laminated surface. Very much. You see, why did I buy this desk for the studio? Well, it was an offer from the Studio Spares, half price, couldn't refuse. But why did I go for black laminated? Probably because the edge of my computer table, it was kind of like a dark wood on the main bit, and then it had this kind of dark laminated bit down the front of it. Is it subconscious? Probably not. I don't know. All this stuff feeds in, doesn't it? I had that computer table. I'll try and flash up a picture if I can find one. I recovered it. We took it when I had my first work office, and when I set up on my own, we still had the desk, and we carried it down, me and someone else managed to get it up into my new office. We had to take the wheels off it because the stairs were so twisty that I had to take the wheels off it. And then I put it in my office, and it sat to the right of my main desk and had my Linux computer, my email computer on it at the time. And I drilled holes in it, and I put the router down the side of it, and it's like, yeah, that's still my kind of childhood desk, and it's still serving. And when I moved out, I just left it there, and the kind of building clearance people got rid of it. It's a real shame, but it was pretty worn out. But digress. You see, all these things kind of make you kind of think of things and make happiness and sharing, and that's what this is all about, and me wittering on forever. How long has this been going? Oh my goodness, 46 minutes. You'll have to listen to this in audio only when you're going out for a walk or run, like I did with Gigerpunk's YouTube video. But yes. Anyway, look, as I always say, thank you for watching Gigervision, because it's your time, or listening as you probably are with this, because there's nothing to see apart from a few graphs. But I'm incredibly grateful that you found me on this small corner of the internet, especially on Gigervision 2, that you continue to watch and engage and are interested in the old rubbish that I am, because this stuff's niche and is getting nicher. I'll continue doing stuff, and I certainly won't be walking into retro shops and demanding that I'm a famous YouTuber and I can record in there. Why? Or buying 40,000 subscribers for $1,000. If you send me, I tell you what, if you lot send me $1,000 on Ko-Fi, we'll buy 40,000 subs for Gigervision 2, and we will see what happens, right? That's what we do. $1,000, someone send me $1,000, we'll spend that money on 10,000 subs. No, 10,000, 40,000 subs. So I was looking at the screen up there with the graph on it, and we will see what happens, or we will do something ludicrous with it, like hire a North Sea ferry and reshoot episode 1 of Triangle. That's what we'd do. That's worthwhile. Yeah, forget about the subs. We're just going to North Sea ferry, and I'll bring Gigerpunk along, and he can topless sunbathe we got January kind of coming, haven't we? The depths of winter on the top deck of a North Sea ferry. He hasn't agreed to that, but I'm sure if I split it 50-50 with him, 500 quid to get his moves out on the top of a North Sea ferry at -5 in the rain. He will do that. I'm sure of it. Anyway, enough wittering. Thank you for watching. I really mean that. Don't try and start guessing these channels, who they are being talking about in the comments, because I'll have to delete it because I don't want a pile-on here. And we want to keep this a nice corner of the internet. And please support all the good people on the internet like Gigerpunk, like Dudley, and all those other people. Rod Hull at Futurals 8-Bit. Support his videos because he puts out some interesting kind of little videos that he's just playing games because he wants to on a VIC-20. That's another computer that came along to me recently because Rod donated that to me, gave it to the channel so I could play VIC games. And first of all, I was like, oh, this is just like a really rubbish C64. All these games are rubbish. And then you start to come across the proper VIC-20 games and you go, oh, it's got that vibe. It's got that vibe of going to your mate's house who's got this unusual computer, but he's got my mate with his Atari 800 XL. He's got this weird computer, but it's got some good games on it. And it makes different sounds to my computer. And the graphics look slightly different to my computer. And the colours slightly different to my computer. I'm slightly enticed by this. You know, Ball Blazer, Attack of the Mutant Camels and all that stuff. And Hover Bother. And that kind of game, well, I can't remember the name, but I've read it earlier on Cinevision. You go down through the caves with the spaceship and you pick things up. All that stuff, and you're enticed by it. It captures you. And the VIC's kind of captured me, and it's been in a way like the Oric hasn't. It's like, oh, this is a computer to play games to. You've got a lot of games on. You've got a lot of rubbish on there. But when you dig down, actually, it's a load of really good titles. MSX is the same as well. Anyway, I'm wittering on. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on Cinevision 1 or on a podcast or something soon. I don't know. I've got nothing planned. Yeah. Anyway, cheers. Bye.